Mm, 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 mm. They are so good. Mm. Oh, hey kids. Good to see you. Hey, you know what I'm doing? I'm having a little snack. I'm having some grapes. Oh, I love grapes. Hey, that reminds me of a story. We've been learning about fear and being fear busters. Well, that reminds me of a story about Moses. We can find this story in Numbers chapter 13 and 14. Now, Moses was leading the Israelites and they were going to the promised land. But they were a little concerned because they weren't quite sure, what the promised land even looked like. So Moses picked one person from each of the tribes of Israel. So that means there was 12 people. He sent out 12 spies and he said, "Go and see what the land looks like. See if the people are weak or strong. See if the land is good or bad. See if the people live in tents or in fortified cities. And is the ground fertile and good for crops? And does it look like a desert or is it a forest?" He said, "And while you're there, go and bring me back some fruit." Well, these spies didn't want to be seen. So, what did they do? Did they put on a costume? Or did they, cut their hair? Or were they just real sneaky and kind of blend in and make sure nobody's seen them? Well, either way, those 12 spies went into the promised land and they looked at everything that was there. They seen that, hey, it was a beautiful place. The land was great for crops. In fact, the land looked really good. It looked like God's promise. But they were scared. That's right. 10 out of the 12 spies got scared. They said, "Wait a minute, these people aren't weak. They're very strong. They're giants that live in the land. Not only are they huge, we look like hoppers compared to them." "No, not that kind of hopper. Grasshoppers." Well, when they came back to Moses, guess what they did? They brought back some fruit. That's right. They brought back grapes the size of my head. They were huge. The Bible says that there was a cluster of grapes and it took 2 grown men to carry them on a stick. I mean, that's some big grapes. Well, when they came back, they gave a report to Moses. And those 10 spies, well, the sad thing is they said, "Yeah, it's a great land. It's very fertile. But they live in fortified cities and the people that live there are giants. They're huge." Well, Caleb and Joshua, they were the only 2 spies that said, "No, we can take this land. If God's given it to us, we don't have anything to fear." Well, the bad thing is, those 10 spies gave that bad report, and that report spread like wildfire. Everybody heard the bad report that they weren't going to be able to take the promised land that God was giving them. That's right, it was sad. Well, because of that, do you know that the Israelites, that generation, did not go into the promised land? They wandered around in the desert for 40 years. Now it's sad because they had nothing to be afraid of. They shouldn't have had fear when God was telling them, "I'm giving this to you. I'm giving you the promised land." Well, I tell you what, kids, we got to remember that Jesus is always in our boat. If we keep him in our boat, and God tells us to go do something like the promised land, that we shouldn't have fear. That's right. Keep Jesus close to your heart, and guess what, kids? You're going to be fear busters the rest of your life. Hey, I got to go find my mama. Maybe I want to share some grapes with her. Hey, Mama, you want some grapes?